Jesus' first great speech in the Gospel of Matthew on the mountain. They started with the Beatitudes that we read just last Sunday. And right after, also before saying what it is teaching that will continue for 3 chapters, immediately tells his disciple what should be their presence in the world, like the salt, like the light. So it seems to me that it gives a mission to the disciple, almost without saying what are the contents. Is to say that the most important, that what you are doing and to follow our God is not just for ourselves. It's to be a meaningful presence in the world for the others, so they may understand through us the presence of God in this world. This is wonderful how he places this right at the beginning, telling that being a meaningful presence to attract people to him is the first thing, the first mission that we have in our life. Now we can enter to understand these 2 images that Jesus gave us. First of all, the salt. Salt is a very rich image, at least in my world and where Jesus was born, around the Mediterranean Sea. It's so important that it should be controlled by the state and not with a free market. And in some places, also salt, it becomes an exchange of values, become money matter. And sometimes in the past, people are paid with salt. So we have the word salary, that probably we lost the connection in English. But in Italian it is very clear, and in Latin it's very clear, the relation between salt and salary is something that has a value, is important. We cannot waste it. But apart from this explanation of the word salt, Jesus pointed in one aspect of the salt that gives taste to the food. Most of you are cooking every day. I don't know if you are using salt in your cooking. A little should be to season what you have. And immediately you can recognize food that you should add some salt, or you forget it, and then at the end you're ready to serve. Oh, I forgot the salt. I don't know if it happened. It for me happened many times cooking pasta, and I should add it before the salt, and then forgot it. And it's something awful. You eat it, yeah, but it's something very different. So something to bring that taste that makes you accept and enjoy the food that you are eating. This is the meaning of the salt. But then there is something that Jesus is not saying here, but I think that is important to understand what is the presence, our present, the salt in this world. Salt is something that before you use it, you can touch it. You have crystal there, then you add into water or inside your food, and what will happen to the salt? Can you find it? No more. It will disappear. It will lose himself, but leaves the effect of his presence. You cannot find it anymore, but you can find the effect of the presence of the salt. And I'm thinking that this should be one of the images that also help us what is the presence of ourselves on the earth, on this world. We are a meaningful presence that gives taste to the life of the others, but not because I remain there. I'm ready to be dissolved. My presence is not important. It's not that as the goal to give taste to the life of the other. So this salt is very humble, very simple, that when it enters there, it just leaves the effect. Cannot find it anymore. And we understand also the opposite, when somebody, we cannot portion it very well, and we add some more salt, and then can do nothing after, almost nothing. And then it's salty, becomes salty, what you have. A presence that is centered to the himself more, outside what is the right proportion, that it becomes something not pleasant. When the presence of ourselves in this world becomes the presence of myself, and then the food becomes salty, become the opposite, you cannot eat it. And so a wonderful image that Jesus used. And also thinking how precious at that time was the salt. Now we go to the supermarket, we can easily find it very cheap. But the time wasn't like this. It was very, very expensive to use it very little, once by one. And then the other image. The other image is the light of the world. And the church, to make us understand immediately what God was saying with this, you are the light of the world. I don't know if you notice in the Alleluia before the gospel acclamation, we have the gospel of John. We say, I am the light of the world. So, first of all, he is the light of the world. They shine in our heart, and then so we can bring this light to the other. This is very well remembered. And Jesus reminded us of this meaning when at the end of today's gospel is saying, oh, everybody, you shine, may your work shine in front of the other with your good deeds. And they will see your good deeds and glorify who? Do you remember? Yourself. No. Glorify the Father that is in heaven. Remind us once again that you are not the light of the world in terms of you shine and the other recognize you. No, we are the serve of this light of the world. And filled with this light, we have to bring this light to the others. And to understand a little light, think what is the opposite. And then you understand immediately what should be a light in the darkness or a life that is light. Have you ever, probably if you tried, especially back in the Philippines, when immediately electricity go off and you are even in the darkness. What are you feeling there? It's difficult, you cannot move, it is dangerous. But you have a little light, a candle that you can light at that moment, and this is enough to see what is around us. And if you think that the light of Jesus is not just a little candle, but it is something that shines, it's something like the sun that even above in the sky and beyond that a lot of clouds that can bring light to us. Something very strong, not just a candle. But Jesus reminds us in this image that you have to bring the light of the other. And you cannot hide yourself and say, okay, I'm Christian, but I'm not living out as a Christian to be witness of this. You are Christian and you bring this in your life, in what you do. And in this, what you do and your deeds, we have two examples today's reading. First one, the book of Isaiah, the prophet who is shining to Israel and shouting there to be the companion and share your bread with the hungry, shelter the oppressed and the homeless, to take care of those most in need in our life. Why this? Because this is the attitude of Jesus, the attitude of God. That His love is really life, is really true when you give your love to somebody that cannot repay you back. This is the real love. When you give out for nothing and for free. And when we are trying to love the hungry, the homeless, and so on, in the list that you can find the first reading, then we know that our love is true, because you give out for free without expecting something back. This is the characteristic of love of God. They love us without even waiting that we praise Him and we thank Him for all the graces that we receive in our life. This is one of the characteristics of that shining deeds that we should bring in our life. To give this word the image that this word is not a word of those who have and they continue to have more and more, and those who doesn't have, the distance will be more and more. No. This is a word in which we share what we have with the others. Because if we share something, if we have something, is the means to share with others. And as I said before, also one teaching from the second reading. St. Paul that travels from Athens when he tried to have this great speech, philosophical, with the philosopher there in Athens about the resurrection of Jesus. And then they say, oh, about this we'll talk to you another time. And we stopped any conversation. And St. Paul left Athens